All right, so for today's explainer, we're going to do something a little different. Forget the usual research papers, forget the news articles. Our source? A local plumber's website from a town in Pennsylvania. Yeah, you heard that right. It might not sound like much, but trust me, this thing is like a hidden treasure map. I mean, it begs the question, what secrets could a plumber's website possibly hold? Well, we're going to treat this service page not as an ad, but as a really rich data source that reveals the hidden life of a community. Everything from the geology it sits on, right up to the pipes inside its walls. So here's our game plan. We'll start with our unexpected guide. Then we'll dig into the ground beneath the town, read its history through its pipes, look at the daily crises that pop up, check out the professional's playbook for handling it all, and finally, we'll connect everything back to the hidden story of your own home. Okay, first up, an unexpected guide. We're using this website as a kind of diagnostic tool. It's like a special lens that lets us see how an entire town functions, or in some cases, where it's starting to fail. And this quote right here just gets straight to the point. The website tells us flat out that Monroeville is in a constant battle with its own climate. These freeze-thaw cycles, they aren't just a weather report. They're basically the main villain of our story, putting constant, punishing pressure on the town's hidden infrastructure. So, let's dig a little deeper. Literally. This next section is all about the ground beneath Monroeville, where all these invisible environmental forces are constantly at work, shaping everything we can't see. Now, what's so fascinating here is how it connects the dots between cause and effect. The website explains that those freeze-thaw cycles, they directly lead to frozen and burst pipes. The local soil is heavy with clay, so it shifts and puts this incredible stress on sewer lines until they break. And all those beautiful, mature trees, well, their roots are the #1 cause of chronic sewer blockages. It's a perfect storm of environmental pressure. And you know, this geological story leads us straight into a historical one. So for our next section, we're looking at a town's history in pipes. The materials used to build this town are like a fossil record. They tell us exactly when and how different neighborhoods were put together. And here you can see that history side by side. The website draws a clear line between the older homes built before 1980 with their galvanized steel pipes and clay sewers, and the newer developments that use modern materials like PEX, copper, and PVC. So the thing is, a plumber in Monroeville isn't just fixing a leak. They're basically a time traveler, dealing with different technological eras, sometimes on the very same street. So how does an aging system like this actually, show itself? Well, the website gives us a whole checklist of symptoms. Things like rusty water, low pressure, or sediment are the direct result of those old pipes corroding from the inside out. And gurgling toilets or weird wet spots in the yard? Yep, those are telltale signs of failing sewer lines. And all of that brings us to the inevitable result of these underlying conditions, a catalog of crises. This is the part where geology and history just explode into daily emergencies for the people living there. 1 minute, everything's fine. The next, you've got a burst pipe, probably a victim of that relentless freeze-thaw cycle we talked about. Or maybe it's an emergency sewer backup when those old clay pipes finally lose their fight against shifting soil or invading tree roots. And it can even be something as serious as a gas leak, another failure point in an aging system that needs immediate expert attention. No messing around with that. But, it's not all just chaos. This chart actually brings some order to it all. The work isn't just about reacting to emergencies. It's also about planned system installations, like new water heaters or bigger repiping projects, and really importantly, preventative maintenance to try and stop these crises before they even start. Which leads us perfectly to the solution side of the equation, the professional's playbook. This is all about the systematic, methodical response you need to manage a town's chronic infrastructure problems. And the process itself is pretty simple and structured. According to the source, it all starts with the initial contact and a really thorough assessment of the problem. Then comes the actual professional repair work, and it's not done until everything is tested and guaranteed to be working right. It's about bringing order to a chaotic situation. And that order is governed by some pretty strict rules. This isn't just guesswork. The work has to comply with the Pennsylvania International Plumbing Code, it requires local permits, and it has to follow all the local municipal authority rules. This whole framework of licensing, insurance, and transparent pricing, that's what separates a real professional response from just a temporary fix. Okay, so let's zoom back out. We've just diagnosed Monroeville, but what does all this mean for the rest of us? Well, that brings us to our final section, your home's hidden story, and how you can apply this blueprint to just about anywhere. Because here's the big takeaway, right? Every single town has an invisible circulatory system, just like Monroeville's. Its history isn't just in books, it's written in the pipes and wires hidden in the ground and behind the walls, and it's all been shaped by the local geology, the climate, and the era it was built in. And that leaves us with one final question. After seeing how much a simple service website can reveal about one town, it really makes you wonder, right? What story is hidden in the walls of your own home?